Hello and welcome to Hope, helping other people excel, as the word spells out. And we hope to bring, it's our goal to bring hope into your life. I don't want to hope to hope, that's too many hopes. But it's our goal to bring hope into your life by helping other people excel. We want to help you excel. And in helping others excel, we raise the tide for all the ships, including our own. So I think that's an important thing these days, and something that so often is lacking in our world today. And so for the next half hour, we appreciate the opportunity to come into your homes and spend a little time with you. And it's our goal to help bring some hope to you and your life, and somehow maybe encourage and inspire you to reach higher heights and levels. So thanks for coming along today and inviting us into your homes. Before I want to get started, I want to thank the fine folks here at WCET Television for making this show possible. The engineering staff and the management here have all been excellent, and of course the fine quality digital equipment we now have. That's all fun to work with, so we can do a lot more fun things and look a little more polished. So at any rate, aside from that, we have our sponsors, PamperMeNaturally.com, a website for fine soaps and lotions and things for your skin. If your skin could talk, it would say Pamper Me Naturally. So go there and check out the products that they have, hand lotions and soap and lip balms and various things to help your skin be nourished and fed and happy. And here at Hope, we want to feed you, feed your emotions, feed your spirit, and help encourage you in that way. But our bodies also need nourishment and feeding, and Pamper Me Naturally does a nice job of pampering and feeding our skin. And then we have Perry's Place at 90 North Main in Cedar Springs, and Perry has herbs and teas and all kinds of other things to help nourish our body internally. And so it kind of makes a nice mix for our Hope Show, because in that way we get to nourish the body, the mind, and the spirit. So at any rate, we are glad that you're here, and we appreciate those fine sponsors and all of their good products. Check them out. If you get a chance to talk to either of them, please let them know that you heard about them on our show, and that'll go a long ways in making them happy with our sponsorship or our advertising. So today I was on the way here, and I was listening to Dr. Earl Nightingale and his audio video, The Strangest Secret in the World. As you all know, that's probably one of my favorite videos. I can't tell you how many times I've watched that and listened to Earl. He's just got so much good to say in that thing. You just can't absorb it all in one sitting. You kind of have to listen to it again and again, and it always uplifts me. It encourages me. It reminds me of the things that I should be focused on, and how important it is for us to put good things into our mind, plant good seeds there so that good things grow, and that in that way we accomplish more. We rise to new heights. We create new goals for ourselves and new vision for the future. And all of those things help others excel. They help us get better at what we do. And so I really encourage you once again to give that another listen if you've already heard it before. If you haven't heard it at all, you can go on YouTube and type in Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret in the World, or The World's Strangest Secret. I can't remember exactly the order that goes now, but give it a listen. I can't tell you how uplifting and encouraging that is. Of course, I try and bring you information from that and so many other sources, the books that I read and CDs that I constantly listen to help keep my attitude in the right frame of mind. And I know that we've talked about before about how important it is to direct our mind, much like a ship is directed by its sails or by its rudder and its steering. Earl Nightingale talks about the big heavy earth moving equipment and how they weigh, tons, maybe 20, 30 tons, and they carry all this dirt, and they're just big, huge, powerful monsters. And yet if they were left uncontrolled and unguided, how not only could they do damage to so many other things around them, but it could ultimately damage itself because that power is not harnessed, it's not directed. And how important it is for us to direct our own lives and our own thoughts on a regular basis, not just occasionally when we think about it, but we need to train our minds and our hearts to constantly focus on good things, good thoughts, and how important it is for us to focus on listening to good things and reading good things. It's so important to listen to good things and read good things and constantly put those things in your mind, because if you don't, the things that you do put in are going to make the difference. They can make the difference between your just having a mediocre life or having an excellent life, and between just getting by and being marginal or really excelling, and so we need to work on that. And much like so many other things we've talked about in learning to eat with your left hand because you broke your right arm, or something like that, you have to constantly keep training yourself. You constantly have to keep reminding yourself, hey, I need to put good stuff in here. I got to start blocking out this other stuff. And it's hard to weigh what is a good thing to put in your mind, what is a not so good thing to put in. Some people would say, well, I really like to watch my sitcom in the evening. It's a way I unwind and relax after work. But what is it doing for you? Is it moving you forward in your life, or is it really just wasting your precious time? Because our time is so valuable, because we only have a finite amount of it. None of us really know exactly how much of that we have. So it's our most valuable asset and possession. And so what you're watching, what you're reading, what you're listening to, is it uplifting you? Is it helping you move forward in your life? Or is it merely entertainment? Or is it merely, some people would say, well, it's not negative, it's not dragging me backwards. And, I guess Rob Robson, the guy in our organization, said it best. He said, if you're not ripening, you're rotting. And, you got to stop and take a look at that in your own life and say, okay, am I ripening with this? Is this something that's going to help me continue to be better and to ripen? Or is this something that's not helping me ripen, in which case I'm rotting? I'm going backwards. I'm going the other way. There is no middle ground. You don't get to ride the fence. That's not how life works. If you are going to sit on the fence, sooner or later you're going to wind up on one side or the other. You have to get off. You have to move one way or the other. And in life, that's what Rob was pointing out, is that you're either moving forward, you're either ripening, you're either getting better, and you're becoming the best you can be, or you're rotting and you're moving backwards and you're decaying and you're not progressing forward. I guess you could liken it maybe to being in a canoe on a stream. If you're not constantly paddling to move forward, then you're going to be moving backwards, because the current is going to pull you that way. And how often we find that the current of life is almost exactly like that. It's drawing us backwards all the time. Everything we face in our day-to-day lives. The secretary's grumpy in the morning when we get to work, or the boss is in a bad mood, or they criticize and say, well, you didn't do this right, or you didn't do that right, instead of patting you on the back and saying, well, you didn't do that right, but you did this right over here, and I like that. The world doesn't work that way. It, for some reason, always has this negative bent. We talked about Terry Brady and her, spell checker, Terri. Is that terrible or is that terrific? It could be either one, but the spell checker even goes to the negative. It goes that way. Why? Because it learns from us, and we have that negative perspective all the time. And so it's a constant battle for us to paddle forward, and to try and keep a good attitude and keep good thoughts in our mind. Because if we stop paddling, if we just let life go on around us, the current of life is going to drag us backwards. So you're either ripening or you're rotting. And, Earl Nightingale says that, the things you read, the things that you listen to, the things that you put in your mind, all of that is so vitally important to planting good seeds, comparable to planting good seeds in a field. It's going to determine the fruit that you reap tomorrow or the next day or the next month. it just continues to go that way. And in listening to Earl today, I also recognized he talked about the Sermon on the Mount, and Jesus was talking to the people, and he said, ask and it shall be given unto you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door will be open unto you. And so, Jesus said in his own words, hey, you can have what you want. All you have to do is ask. And, so many people say, well, I've wanted a new Mercedes, or I've wanted a nice new home, or I've wanted a house on the lake, or I've wanted to live like a millionaire, but I never get that. And, it boils back to the faith factor there. If you ask in faith believing, it will happen. It's in the Word. It's in the Bible. God said. But you do have to have some faith. You have to trust Him and know that His Word is good and that He is going to provide for you. And Earl doesn't relate it to God, Earl Nightingale. He refers to God in some of his speeches, but he more refers to it as cause and effect of, if you don't have the faith, that's what is required to make the seed grow and to cause it to bloom and blossom. And, we can all stand around all day and say, well, I wish I had $1 million. I wish I had $1 million. I wish I had $1 million. And how does that work? It doesn't work. And even the beggars on the street corners have to go out and do their work. I saw one of them on our way here today, and the fellow was standing out there in the cold with his gloves, and his fingers are exposed in spots. And, I thought to myself, why would you want to do that? Why would you stand there and want to be out there in the cold and beg for your existence, beg for someone to give you a meager little bit of money? That's still a job. Okay, it's a job that he works on his own schedule. When he wants to, he's out there, and when he's got enough money or he's happy with what he's got, then he can go in. But, on the other hand, he could have a regular job where he worked inside of a nice warm McDonald's or a Burger King and, got paid money for doing that. And, you get to talk to people, and people are nice and everything else, and you have some self-dignity and self-respect. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you don't put feet to your dreams or your wishes, if you don't put effort toward them, like mixing up a cake, there's a certain recipe that has to be followed for this all to come together and become cake. If you just dump the stuff in the bowl and say, well, I wish I had a chocolate cake, I wish I had a chocolate cake, it's never going to be a chocolate cake. You have to pour in the necessary ingredients. You have to do a little stirring and a little mixing. There's work that's involved. And so it's important that once you have your dreams planted, once you're thinking these good thoughts and planting these good seeds in the ground, that you then put effort and action toward accomplishing them. Vince Pacenti, in the book The Ant and the Elephant, he talks about a lot about how getting the dream or getting the goal or getting the positive attitude in the first place is the beginning. It's the ant. The ant directs and says, okay, Mr. Elephant, I want to go this way. And if the ant and the elephant are in commune with each other and they communicate, then the ant knows how to get the elephant excited and go the direction that the ant wants him to go. But if they don't communicate, if there is no dream, if there is no vision, if there is no drive or focus, then the elephant doesn't go. He goes where he wants to go. He just kind of wanders around and, picks a little grass over here and nibbles on some tree leaves over there. And they consequently, neither one get anywhere. So it's so important that we start with good dreams and visions and positive thoughts. It's the positive thoughts that create the buzz between the ant and the elephant that makes that elephant buzz and go, hey, I really like that idea. Let's do that, And so it's important to get the two to work together. We've got to get that elephant moving or we'll never, ever accomplish our goals. So we have to have that work. But Vince also says that it starts with getting the dream. It starts with deciding where you want to go and what you want to be. You have to have some focus or some goal. Without a target in front of the guy, an archer, has nothing to shoot at. He has nothing to hit. He doesn't know if he's making progress or not because he just pulls up and goes poof. And the arrow goes and it lands where it lands. But with a target there, he can see when he pulls back the bow and lets that arrow go, he nicked the edge of the target. So I've got to adjust my aim. I've got to move it over to the right a little bit. And so he moves it to the right a bit and he pulls again and boom. Oh, he's a little further on the arrow, on the target. Maybe he got into the blue section, but he still didn't hit that bullseye. But it gives you a scoreboard or ability to track your progress if you have a goal or if you have a dream or a set destination you want to reach. Like Earl Nightingale said, it's like setting a ship afloat on the ocean with no goal and nobody to steer it, and it's going to wind up just going where the wind blows it. It's going to crash on the reefs and be destroyed. And so it accomplishes nothing. It goes nowhere. And our lives are the same way. We need that focus. We need that dream. We need that goal, that vision. And as we feed upon that, as we dwell on it, as we focus on it, as we think about it, Earl Nightingale said, you are what you think about. You become what you think about most of the time. What is it you think about most of the time? Do you let that TV show get you distracted? Now, I'm not talking about the great show programming that we have on WCET, because of course, they have great programming on here. But I'm talking about, those sitcoms that you want to sit down and watch at night or whatever. You're sitting down there and you're just being entertained. It's not getting you anywhere. It's not causing you any forward movement in your life. It's not enhancing your dream or your goal. I guess unless your goal is to be on a sitcom or something, maybe it might inspire you then. But what is it that you think about? What are your thoughts focused on? What do you desire? What is the desire of your heart? What calls out to you? It's been said that our mission in life, when we think about it, should bring tears to our eyes and a lump in our throat and that strong pull in our heart, because we want that so badly. We want that so much, How many times have you maybe looked at that bright new shiny red car at the car dealership and you said, boy, I really want to get that. That'd be nice to have that little Mustang or that little Corvette or whatever it is, that nice four-wheel drive truck. And you see it sitting there, and what is it? You start thinking about it. You start thinking about it. You drive by it on your way home from work every day and on your way to work every day. And every time you get to see it. And it starts eating away at your mind. It starts creating desire. And pretty soon you're going, I need to stop in and look at that. So you stop one day on your way home from work and you peek in the windows and you look around and the salesman comes out and says, hey, how'd you like to take it for a test drive? Oh, I'm just kind of thinking about it at the moment. Boy, I don't know. It's a nice looking car. You should try and, take it for a drive. It doesn't cost nothing. Okay, well, I'll take it for a drive. It continues to build that fervor in your heart for that new red car or that nice pickup truck. And as that fervor begins to build, it creates that excitement between your ant and your elephant. And pretty soon you're saying, man, I got to figure out a way to get that. I really love that. It felt so good when I drove it. You're building that dream. You're building that vision. You're building that desire. And that's where it starts. It starts right down here. That desire in your heart. And as that desire becomes stronger and stronger, you're thinking, boy, if I just worked a little extra overtime at work, I could probably, get enough scraped together for a down payment on that nice truck. Or, you go to the credit union and say, hey, man, what's my credit rating look like? How much can I borrow? I really want that red car. And, gradually your elephant kicks in and he starts to just charge toward that new car because that's what you're thinking about all the time. You go to bed at night and you're laying there and you dream about driving that red car, and you come home and you tell your wife about it and you're all excited, and you've already test driven it and the elephant's just starting to charge. You know that feeling. You've felt it before. That feeling in your heart when you just want something so bad. That's the key. When we create that kind of desire in our heads, when we plant those kind of seeds in our heads, the ant begins to communicate with the elephant and say, hey, this is something we want. Let's go get it. And the elephant says, yeah, no problem, man, let's go. And he takes off on a run. And what's going to stop the elephant? Nothing. Because he's got the power, he's got the energy, he's got the drive, he's got the ambition, and he's putting the energy that the ant can't do. The ant has no strength at all. He has no ability to get there. His little tiny steps make no progress. But the elephant's got these big, huge strides. And if there's a small tree in the way, it doesn't matter. He runs right over that tree and flattens it and keeps going because he's got a dream. He's got something in mind that he wants. I know you felt that. There was maybe a time in your childhood, if you look back that far, where you felt that. You felt a dream of what you wanted to be, of what you wanted to do. Maybe it was a fireman, or maybe it was a medic in an ambulance, or maybe it was a police officer, but something in your heart. Maybe it was just a minister, or even a missionary to another country where you just had a passion or a burden in your heart to go to other people in some other land. When you get that drive in your heart, your mind, your little ant will figure out a way to get the elephant to move, and what you desire will become a reality. It will come to fruition. So when Jesus said, ask and it shall be given unto you, seek and you shall find, knock and the door will be opened unto you, he's saying, you know what, if you really, really want it, all you really have to do is ask, and I'll give it to you. All you really have to do is seek for the answer, and you'll find it. If you want it that bad, if you desire it, that's really all it takes. It takes that desire to begin the process, to get the wheels rolling, to get the machine in motion, to get that locomotive moving down the tracks. Some engineer sits behind in a little seat and controls a little joystick or a little lever to get that huge engine to move that train. That whole big train, maybe 5 miles long, weighing tons and tons and tons of freight. And yet it takes just a small little lever in the engineering compartment and a man to steer it and negotiate it and control it to get you where you want to go, to get that whole big train moving down the road. At 80 miles an hour, some of those trains went 100 miles an hour. The new magnetic trains can go even faster. Elon Musk is working on a new one called Hyperloop or something, I think he calls it, where he claims that in the future that thing will be able to go maybe 4,000 miles an hour in a protected tube, so that you have no worry about hitting other vehicles or animals or anything like that. How fast would it get you from East Coast to West Coast? But Elon Musk planted in his mind an idea. Just a small little idea. But it started working on him, and he started getting his elephant excited about it. And now they're working on a prototype, a short-range one out in California. And once that gets going, it becomes fruition. It comes to reality. Someone said that when you've got that drive, when you've got that ambition, when you've got that dream, the facts don't count. It doesn't matter. Nobody's ever built a train that goes that fast before. But the facts don't matter to Elon Musk. He doesn't care because he's got a dream. He's got a vision. He's got a goal. He's got that desire in his heart to make it happen. My hope for you, helping other people excel, is to reignite that fire in your heart, that goal, that drive within you to be whatever it was that you wanted to be at one time. I don't know what that was. I don't know, but I do know that when we all serve the purpose that God put us here for, when we're all doing that, what we had in our hearts to do originally, when we stop letting the cares of life drag us back and down, and the stresses and the strains hold us back and cloud the vision that we once had, then we're ineffective and the tide is down and the ship's all set, grounded on the beach because they have no water. When we raise this tide, when we can encourage you, when we can help you reach that vision and get back what you've lost because of the cares of the day-to-day life, then we can all begin to go after our vision and do what it was that God put us here for in the first place. And then that will bring the tide back in and raise all the ships, and we'll all benefit from it. Our world is designed around us, much like the Matrix, to keep us appeased and entertained so that we will give our energies to the machine. That they will be allowed to take from us all of the energy that we would normally create in our day-to-day lives, and they entertain us with television, or they entertain us with football games, or whatever else. And they keep us from reaching that goal. They keep us from achieving that dream. And consequently, they benefit from us, and we accomplish nothing. We become nothing in our own lives. We lose that dream and we lose that vision, and all our energies instead are absorbed, like in the Matrix with Neo. And I don't know how many of you have seen that movie, but if you haven't seen it, it's a really good one to watch. The analogies there are amazing. But our energies are being sucked off by our world around us. It's been designed around us to keep us at a certain level, to not let us climb to the high heights that God intended for us, to keep us entertained, to keep us sedated and willing to give our energies out to the banks and interests, to finance companies, to so many areas in our world. And then we continue to give that out, and we have nothing left for ourselves. And then we become like the plod horse with the blinders on. We can't see any further ahead than what's right in front of us. So we don't have that dream anymore of running through the fields with the wind in our hair and our manes flying back, or running through the woods, or being free. We have these blinders on and this harness on that keeps us just plodding away and moving forward, but not for our own benefit, but for the benefit of others that would like to control us. You don't have to be in that spot. You know, it's been said that a rut is nothing but a grave with the ends kicked out. It's been said that, you know, many men die at the age of 26 and wait till 76 or 86 to be buried because they no longer have that vision. They no longer have that desire. And maybe that's you today. Maybe that's how you feel, because I know that's how I felt at one time. And someone helped me. Someone brought me hope and helped me excel and gave me back my vision and my dream for the future. And I'm still working on polishing that and going forward to that. But I know that I'm on the right track and that things are going to be, for me, greater in the last half of my life than they were in the first half. And I look forward to that. I'm excited about that. I get up every morning with a reason and a motivation. I'm not tired and fatigued and worn out and going, oh, God, another day. I got to just put my foot down out of bed, and I got to make myself get up because I'm just so tired and I don't want to go on that rat race again. I don't want on that hamster wheel another day. Maybe that's you. I hope that it's not, but if it is, that's my goal here at Helping Other People Excel, is to bring that vision back to you, to help you get off that hamster wheel, to help you, bring you hope. If that's you and you feel like you're stuck on that hamster wheel, give me a call. Drop me a line. My name is Jim Pate. That's P as in Peter, A-T-E. I've been your host today. Probably should have introduced myself earlier in the day, but you can reach me via email at jim.pate@gmail.com, and I know that JB will put that on the screen for us there. And also, if you want to get a hold of me by phone, 616-799-0517 is my personal cell phone. Oftentimes I'm unable to answer, but please call, leave me a message. It's important to me. I'd like to hear from you. And so do one of those two things there. You can get a hold of me. And I just really hope that something we've said here today has really touched your heart, and it will make a difference in your life as it has made a difference in my life. And it's my goal to share the changes to you that I've learned in the last 3 years that have made such a difference in my life. Appreciate the time you've given us today and letting us come into your home for this half hour. Really enjoyed ministering and being with you today, and look forward to seeing you again next time on Helping Other People Excel or Hope.